Okay, so we've seen the percussion, we've seen the bass. Now we will take a look at the melodic elements and sequences, especially on the build-up. So from this part to basically this part, which is the build-up and the full-on build-up, and this is the drop. Alrighty. So probably the most important element in this part is the rate synth, or LFO synth, depends how you like to call it. That comes from Massive. So the sound is very simple. It's actually just a normal. Let me see if I can. Okay, if I mute this, it's actually just a normal saw wave. But there is a little LFO on the pitch, and it makes it more organic. It makes it this vibrato kind of sound, and this is how it sounds now. Without. Or with. It's just a little bit more interesting. Of course, we have the guitar going up. Then there is, on the channel strip, there's a tremolo, there's an REQ, that's just a very light EQ, and there's a compressor. These work mainly as a side chain. And you'll notice here there's a little bit of stuff going on. And what this automation this one is the filter going down. This automation controls the tremolo. So the tremolo is not working here. It's like bypassed, as it's at 0%. But when you drop here, the sound starts going left and right as it filters down. It's just a little, cliche that I actually like to do it quite a lot. It has been done like 2 times or 3 times in this track. It's on here and on the pad and probably something else as well. Okay, we're done with the rate synth, and let's have a look at something else. There's this virus stab. So this sounds like a JP, but it's actually a virus. It has a little bit more of attack, and it sounds a tiny little bit more metallic. which is what I wanted compared to the JP. That sounds a little different. Sometimes I like the virus better. Sometimes the JP. It depends. Here we have SSL EQ, low cut, a little bit of push on the highs and mid-low and mid-high as well, but it's not even a dB actually. SSL compressor to give a little snap. Not sure you can tell, but there's a big difference. Oops, sorry for that. Now we have these bleepy sound, which is one of my favorite. It's a very simple sound, and it comes from the Jupiter 8. Just a simple thing. Then some techie stabs. This is actually from Silent. It's not a sample. I mean, it's a sample now as it's been recorded, but same thing. And then we have Moog. Which is probably oops. Okay, this should be it. Then there's this tape delay effect, which probably helps going into the break. Then let's just play them all together without the rate scene, as probably going to be too much stuff, but the whole thing, it'll sound like this. So as you can tell, there's even if there's no actual percussion and kick and bass, the whole thing is already quite groovy, and this is what I try to do every time with my track. I try to be as groovy as possible, even without bass and percussion and kick. The way that if you're groovy without having the main groove elements, when you have those as well, it's gonna be like super groovy. Okay, straight in the break, which I'm sure this is what you guys are waiting the most. So, the most important thing on a break, on a trance break, well, usually pretty much every break, it's the pad. So here we have like a million layers of pads, and I have no idea where they are actually. Okay, we have JP pad. Hold on, let me push up the volume a little bit. Okay, so this is at -8 on my master channel. I always put gain control, but this is just an EQ, but you can put the gainer or whatever you want. The way that when I export the track is going to be at -6, -4, between -4 and -6 dB of in the peak level. So if I bypass this, it's going to be a little lower, a little louder, sorry. Just a little. This is the JP pad. This is a Virus TI pad. Filter on so you can tell the difference. This is the JP, the previous one was a TI. You can tell there's a lot of difference between the two, super subtle. Then we have a string. Yeah, just to give a little bit of a real instrument feeling. And then there's this JP harmonics, which I have no idea what they are. Okay. Some background sounds that you probably never notice if I wouldn't tell you. Yeah, you probably want to see the channel strips. Okay, there's a compressor. I think it's just for sidechain. Yeah, sidechain. Whoa. Equality, EQ, this is really good. It's probably one of the best EQ around, along with the Flux ePure 2. The thing is that I have both. The ePure 2 was like 400 euros and this is 90, and they sound pretty much the same. So yeah, go for it. Yeah, well, there's a lot of low cut. There's frequency kill, as I call them, over here. That was probably an annoying kind of frequency. Then there's a little boost on the 600 hertz and a little cut over here on the 2040 hertz, and a little bit of low cut, but it's mostly for you know, just get rid of all the extra sounds over 1700, as you don't really need them. Okay, let's go on with something else. TDK and tremolo. I'm probably doing the same thing somewhere. The same thing I showed you with the little rate plucky, whatever. Okay, now let's get to what's probably the most interesting part of the whole video, and it's the lead part. So the lead is, once again, a whole bunch of layers that I really don't remember what and where and why is there, but anyway, what I know for sure is that there's an ES2, there's massive, and there is virus. Also there's a little bit of JP, but yeah, let's just go and see layer by layer. So the most important layer of the lead is ES2. Now I'm a massive ES2 fan, as well as massive fan, as well as massive strobe fan. I'm a fan of everything actually, but when it comes to plucks and leads, the ES2 is really good. And as a proof, in this track, the main lead is actually ES2. Then we have it's all dressed up with a few layers of other things that to make it sound fuller and richer, but the real body comes from the ES2. And here's the sound. So of course there's a filter opening, then closing down right before the climax comes in, and then opening full on. This is a very like plucky sound. It has a nice punch, but it has a nice body as well. If we look at the channel strip, we're gonna see low cut, basically because when the filter's down, in this part there's gonna be a lot of muddiness, or whatever's that called, and it's not gonna sound good, especially in a break. You know, you don't have any percussion, any bass, any kick drum, so this part is gonna be very noticeable. And since we really don't need it, it's always good to get rid of things that you don't need when it comes to mixing. And in this part, this thing wouldn't really bother. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be noticed. It wouldn't be noticeable, but during mixing, it would clash with the bass and the kick. It would create some unwanted sound and artifacts, and we don't want that. So I always put low cut pretty much everywhere where it's not needed. Of course, I'm not going to put a low cut like that on the bass, but yeah, on the lead it's pretty much always there. Then we have the arc compressor. I always get like confused with compression and compressor. I'm pretty sure you noticed that. Anyway, this gives a little bit of punch. just a tiny little bit. EQ, just a little bit of punch on the 1000 Hz, and some more low cut. And then it's gonna be a little bit of sidechain, but just a little bit to make it bounce with the whole groove. It's completely unnoticeable. I mean, it's not something like that. It's just a tiny little bit so that when there's a note that happens at the same time of the kick, there's not gonna be any clashing again. Then we have massive. Massive actually just plays on the break. This sound is very, it's quite full, very rich, very wide. I really like this little pluck. It comes from a sound set that I did, and it creates a really nice atmosphere. And I used it just on the break because there was no the whole thing, the whole lead, it's pretty big here already. Here I didn't want it to be so big, but I wanted it to be like a little bit more dreamy, a little bit more atmospheric, what is that called? So yeah, this pluck is gonna play only during the break, and it's not gonna play during the chorus. Then we have the virus. The virus is currently is recorded, so you see it as a waveform, as an audio file. So you can tell the difference. This is a very rich and full of harmonic sound, but it has no attack. It's not very punchy if you compare to something like that, which is the ES2. The ES2 is way more stingy, while this one is a little bit more is richer in frequencies and also more detuned, and it's a little bit lower because of course it's not, I didn't want it to be in your face as much as the ES2 plucky. Then we have another layer of the virus. It's actually the same sound. The only thing that changes is that it's an octave higher. And I always do that with my leads because it creates it gives a little bit of more sparkle to the lead. So if you play it with the octave lower, you feel like there is something missing when you take this off. It's just a little way to make things a little bit more sparkly, or a little bit more interesting, and yeah, this is high-pitched virus, whatever we want to call it, doesn't comes in straight away, but it comes in a few bars before the climax. It's just to, gives more of a build-up idea, like the lead is actually growing and going somewhere. It's something that you should always take care of when you make music. Actually, do not start with a sound and keep going with the same sound for the whole track. I mean, for example, this here, there is massive coming in for a few bars and then it goes away. It's not. I see a lot of people that usually just take a sound and keep going with the same sound for the whole track. You can do that if it works. It's fine. But if you want to make your track interesting, it's always good to add elements and then take them off and then put them back, and yeah, it makes it a little bit more interesting. Now the last thing, it's the JP. That's the typical, it's a little bit quiet, it's the typical JP 800 Super So, sorry, JP 8000 Super So. That has, I think I mentioned it earlier, it has no attack at all. It's like, I hate JP attack, but the body and the sound, it's just great. I mean, it's something everyone's been trying to copy and emulate forever with soft synth, but I'm afraid no one's actually there yet. Some get really close, but there's nothing like the real one. And this is an actual EXS24, and you probably wonder why and how is it playing a JP 8000. Well, this is a sound set that I'm making. It's not available yet. It has been in the making for like a couple of years now, and yeah, I don't know when it's gonna be ready, but this is basically a real JP recorded note by note and then put it into an EXS24 file, and it's mapped. So basically it's a sampled JP and sounds like a real JP, but yeah, if I'm away, if I'm traveling and stuff, I can't have my JP there, so I use this thing. And sometimes, you know, you have your lazy moments and you can't be bothered, turn on the JP, record it, and maybe you do some mistakes and then you have to delete the file and record it again. You have this, and the JP is gonna, then you have your own JP, you can always edit the note and edit the cutoff, resonance, all that stuff. It works on Contact as well. It works better on Contact, but yeah, I just didn't want to destroy my CPU, so I just opened an EXS24, and yeah, it'll be available as soon as I can finish it, but it's gonna take probably a couple more years. I hope not, but seeing how things are and how busy I am, that's probably gonna take a little bit. Anyway, these are the lead layers. Let me just play them all together. Now, this is the channel strip of the lead bus, so basically all these layers go inside this bus and they get equalized and compressed all together. Yeah, don't care about the clipping here. That's a big difference. So there's a little bit of low cut again. A little push on the high, a little push on the mid-high, and a little cut on the low-mid, and yeah, this is a little push on the 450, 500 Hz, and then there's a little bit of compression, but it's just a soft compression. Then there's once again a little bit of side chain, but as I showed you before, it's very light, so it's just for the note not to clash with the kick. And that's pretty much it with the lead, and probably pretty much it with the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I'll have time to make something like that a little bit more often. And yeah, that's it.